January 2025 Stamp Society inspiration is now here.
All right, welcome everybody, and I'm really excited to kind of jump in and do some playing and share some ideas with the January 2025 Stamp Society set before it disappears on the 15th of February. So this is a great video if you have this set and it's just been sitting and you have no idea what to even do with it. Or if you're still thinking about maybe signing up, then maybe you will kind of see me generate some ideas and think, hey, this could totally work for me. So this is a fortune cookie takeaway stamp set, and I have been having so much fun creating little to-go boxes to fit kind of my little card crush Valentines that I designed as a class just a few weeks ago. So if you're definitely interested in learning these cute little makes, come jump into the classroom. It's been so much fun. It's so simple and easy, but it's a great class to learn kind of just how to take your die cuts and make them productive and into cute little projects. You can maximize your stash investment because we all want to use what we buy. So if you want to learn more about those cards, definitely jump in. I will provide a link. But what I want to share is how to kind of, create and design these fun little boxes. And I think they are so cute with these little fortune cookies that hang off. And of course, we can customize and design whatever we wish on the boxes. I just kind of took a Valentine's vibe with these, but again, they can be anything you want, which makes them even more great because they would be perfect for birthdays, thinking of yous, just because even Christmas, I mean, it's really endless. So I want to share how I've kind of got started with these boxes so that maybe you will love these ideas and want to create some of your own. So to begin, I'm just grabbing a piece of white cardstock paper, and usually this is how I love to kind of get the ideas flowing and just kind of create a big kind of stamp image foundation so that I can just kind of look and play and get ideas. So we're going to begin. You're going to want to take your large takeaway box, and I'm just going to use black ink. Again, you can use any ink you like. You can make them any colors you like. But oftentimes when I'm just kind of wanting to just start out and get a feel for stamps, I just reach for my black, and that's what we do. So I'm going to create a bunch of little boxes, and the best way I find to get a nice, solid, even impression is really just pushing my ink pad and my stamp together multiple times. Just push, 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 push. Get a nice even coverage, and there we go. So I have these 3 boxes ready to roll. Then I'm just going to quickly clean off my stamp, because if I don't, I feel like my fingers get all inky and then it just smudges and make messes. Sometimes I get lazy and I don't clean, so that also happens. Then off that stamp set, the second part that I always like to do next is this, the inside handle and kind of the dimension stamp. It looks quite abstract on the stamp set, but it's basically just to kind of fill in those gaps and add the dimension onto the to-go boxes. So you could use black again, you could use an accent color. So I'm going to show you kind of both. I'm going to do the same thing, same technique, just really get that nice and covered. And I'm going to begin with black here. And all I do is line it up into the handles. That's kind of my guide. And then press down. And you can see how it adds all that definition and that shadow, which is so cool. So definitely don't skip that step. I feel it really helps to elevate these to-go boxes, and yeah, super fun. So I'm going to do one with crimson red, just so you can see how you can mix up and add in other colors. So again, I'm just going to get it nice and covered my stamp, align those handles, That's kind of my guide. And push down. And then you can see how the red kind of stamped in there. So fun. Then let's go with, how about some, what's another color we could use? Actually, I went ahead and let's try, I have a custom blend ink pad here that I made. It's kind of like an ombre-ish red, pink. Let's try that one. So yeah, let's go with the lighter color on the top and the darker on the bottom. And again, I'm just going to line up those handles as my guide and push. And you can see it kind of added some color in there as well. So super subtle, but it really helps bring these to-go boxes kind of together, and then you can really see, oh, that's kind of what it looks like, because unless you stamp it, it does seem a little bit intimidating and awkward, and you're not really sure what to do. All right, so the next step that I want to do is now start filling these boxes in. So that's when you can really decide how you want to customize these. And I thought it would be kind of cool to customize some with the Heartthrob stamp set. But again, any stamp set is totally fair game. And that's why these are so awesome, because they can be anything you want them to be. So I first began with really being curious about this Queen of Hearts card, playing card. I think it's kind of cool. And I thought it would look kind of neat on a to-go box. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get that onto my stamp block. And then I'm going to grab some red, some crimson red, and I'm going to, again, get it nice and covered, evenly covered with ink. And it's always good to just check to see, because sometimes depending on how I press, I can leave certain parts out. So I think we are good, nice and covered. And I'm just gonna wanna kind of bring this design onto this one box. Now I know it's gonna go over, but that's okay because we're gonna cut it out anyway. So I'm just going to kind of offset, align it. And as you can see, I kind of have it in this position. And I'm just gonna push, 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 push. And have that kind of line up like so. So super, super cool. I'm loving the texture. And you know what we could even do is I'm going to re-stamp it. I'm going to turn my page. So now it's upside down. I'm going to flip my stamp, and I'm just going to kind of get a little bit of this impression. I'm just going to kind of push on the one side of my stamp so I don't over stamp on this image, just to kind of get that. And I think that's actually pretty cool. Okay, so don't give up on me. Don't give up on me. You might think this looks a little bizarre, but I promise it will work out. All right, so now we have that basic background stamped. And what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to cut it out, because we will get ready for the second part. So to cut it out, I love these little boxes. They are so easy to cut out. They are really fussy cut friendly. And you can see how, now that I've cut off that off stamping portion, how the background is coming together. So I'm going to just cut around, and you can even cut out this inside with a craft knife if you want to as well. I haven't been doing that, but you can totally do that as an option. So we have our little box step one done. All right, so I'm just going to come back to those other boxes, but I want to finish this one off first. So I'm going to actually just take, a lot of times I love using the stamp packaging as kind of like a little mat if I want to stamp on stuff. So I'm just going to lay that underneath. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab some texture, And I'm just gonna grab this like dotted texture stamp from the Stamp Society set, the one that was from March 2024. It was the one full of like textures. And I'm just going to actually stamp it in some black. And I'm just going to add gently just a little bit of like dotted texture, just to kind of like, and again, when I stamp, I'm not pushing the whole stamp down. I'm kind of just kind of wanting to capture the edging just as a little extra. So that's another fun tip. Add some texture into these. It is really, really kind of helpful, and it just kind of brings it together again. So next, step 2 is I want to use my blending tool, and I'm going to add my little foam on the top, and I'm going to add some blending. And I've actually been using the Heidi Swapp inks to do this, and it's been working fine. So I'm just going to add some color and shade in these edges of these to-go boxes. It really helps to kind of like warm it up, especially if you're just using white cardstock. Yeah, lots of fun, and you can go as much or as little as you wish. But again, you can see how that really like starts bringing it to life. All right, so now I'm going to go back to the Stamp Society, and I'm just going to look, and here I'm going to see what I could put on here. So I really like this Lucky Numbers, and it's a really tiny. So I just want to show how it's fun to find little like details in our stamp sets. And I'm just going to put this Lucky Numbers, and I'm going to kind of just add it right here at that top. So I'm just going to kind of set it in on the top there, you can see. And then I'm going to put that back in my stamp set. And then I'm going to find in my Valentine stamp sets, I have this really cute 214. But of course it says 24, and I don't really want the 24 in it anymore. So I'm actually just going to cut it off. There. And I can still stick it on and use the 24 if I need. But now I just have the 214. So again, because I'm kind of doing this as a Valentine's little card, then I'm just going to put the 214 right there. So just something cute, but I always like these little like nuggets. So just a fun little thing. You don't have to do that, but if you want, that's an option. I'm just going to stick that back in. Okay, so now I'm just going to set my little box aside, and I'm going to go back to my original where we stamped the box, and I'm going to now get out a fortune cookie. So I'm going to use this fortune cookie, the one that has the little fortune attached. There's a couple options on that page, so you don't necessarily have to use that one. That's just the one I'm going to use. And I'm going to stamp it on my paper any old way. And then we're going to create this little fun fortune. So once I have that stamped, then you're going to want to go and you're going to want to pick a little message to put inside. So I'm going to put this "Somebody Loves You" fortune. And again, I'm just going to use some black. And I'm going to just stamp that in there. And of course, you could pick anything. I just thought that one was cute, especially with our lucky numbers. And then we're going to take our scissors. Oops. And again, this is super easy to cut out. These are not tricky at all. And you're just gonna wanna use your scissors, cut it out. There we have it. So because it's white and I want to just, you know, make it a little bit more realistic, I am going to use, again, my blending tool. I'm going to switch out my topper, and here you can see I've used some light brown. I was playing around with this tea dye Distress Oxide, and it's kind of a good color for a fortune cookie, and I'm just going to kind of blend and kind of color it up a bit. And I'm going to extend it a little bit to my fortune. You could also do that a different color if you wish, but just an easy way to kind of add a little blend and make it pop out. You could also use pencil crayons or colored pencils, but again, so fun. And then what I like to do is just kind of use my fingernails and kind of play around with the fortune paper, kind of like indent it and make it look like it's been, you know, open, just to give it that little bit of realistic feeling. And then we're going to use a piercing tool or a crocodile, the smallest dimension. And I'm just going to make a little hole. You can make it really anywhere. I chose to make it on this corner. And then I'm going to go right by the handle here, in there, and make another hole. So I thought it would be fun, so this can kind of dangle and it can reveal kind of the lucky numbers. So to attach that, you can use really any sort of thread or ribbon. I have the Heidi Swapp metallic red thread here, and I'm just going to cut a small piece off. And all you're going to do is take this little thread, poke it through the fortune cookie, and then I'm just going to poke it through the little box. I'm going to flip that over and make sure it's on there. And I like how we can kind of just, you know, flip it up depending where you want to put it on your little to-go box. And I'm just going to do a knot and a bow, nothing too crazy. And this thread is a little bit finicky, so you have to really, it's another good test in patience, let's just say, because it's very fine. And sometimes my fingers don't like to work. So I'm just going to kind of tie a double knot and then make a little bow. And here we have our little to-go box. So super, super cute. And then what I was mentioning is that when you add them on top of my little card crush cards, they create the cutest little toppers and valentines. So if you are in that card crush class, be sure to grab out the fortune cookie takeout box stamp set, because these are really, really awesome. These make really, really awesome toppers, and you could even double them up. I mean, there's so many different ways to use them. So super, super fun. And yeah, I just absolutely love it. So let's make another box just to give you another idea. I thought this one is so cute too. So this one, we will begin by cutting out another to-go box. And again, like I did in the previous one, you could stamp and then cut it out, but we'll just start cutting this one out. I just love the size. They're so perfect to add as little details onto tags or cards. These would be so cute in a memory planner if you get takeout one night and you just want to commemorate that, or you had like a special night or something. So this one, I ended up having fun using the lips from the Heartthrob set. But let's see, maybe we will let's use some strawberries on this one. So I'm going to go ahead, and again, this is just totally playing around with different ideas. What I'm going to do is I'm going to begin using just my blended stamp set. So I'm going to first put on some of that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my red and I'm just going to kind of darken the edges just to get a little bit of definition, and you'll see when I stamp it how it'll look. So I'm just going to put my strawberry there. You can kind of see the little bit of darker red on the edging. And then I will maybe do this one all red. And I'm going to do another strawberry kind of right here maybe. And there's my 2 strawberries. So don't freak, because I know they look a little bit like they're missing something. I'm just going to clean my strawberry, and then I'm going to grab the stems. So of course the stems, I'm going to use some green. And I'm going to reach for my lucky green. And I'm going to fit in and just follow my little gaps there. And just stick them in like so. So there we have our little strawberries, and that's actually kind of even almost looks like a picnic basket when you use the strawberries. So definitely lots of ways we can use those. Then I'm going to go into my the pattern texture stamp, and I'm going to grab this one. And I'm just going to use some red, and I'm just going to kind of get a small amount of red stamped on here, and I'm just going to lightly kind of just, you can see how light I pushed just to get a little bit of texture, and it kind of just gives like a little baskety feel. Again, I'm just going to kind of lightly push on the corner. I don't want the whole thing stamped. But you can see how just a little bit of light texture, and it just gives that little bit of kind of latch hair, is it latch hair, crosshair kind of vibe. So kind of cute, kind of fun. And then I'm going to go back and with that texture as well, and I'm going to get some dots. And I'm also going to use the red, and kind of same technique. I'm just going to lightly press just on the corner portion, and you can see where the dots went, and I'll do some on the bottom. There. Nothing crazy, nothing elaborate, but just enough to kind of like warm it up. All right. So now that we've done that, I'm just going to take one more look at this stamp set. And I'm going to use this little sweet stamp. And where is my stamp block here? And I think I'm going to put in black. I'm just going to put the word sweet kind of along the side. So sweet. And then there's a cute little let's use this little XO, which is fun. And I'm going to use that in black as well. And I'm just going to stick that right on this like fold over of the box. So you can see it's already coming together. And then we're going to I want to take my blending tool again, And I'm going to go use this time my custom blend pad. And we're just gonna warm up this little box. You can kind of just be selective where you want to add the coloring. But there you have it. What also is another idea is you could even make a dimensional strawberry and then cut and stack two, which is always fun. So just another little option. But let's get started with our fortune cookie. So this is another idea for the fortune cookie. And what I did here is I just took the one cookie that doesn't have a fortune attached. We're just gonna set our little card aside. Going to use some black and make sure it's all, and make my cookie. And then I'm going to grab the separate fortune paper. And I'm going to just go like that. And then I'm going to add in a sentiment. And this time I'm going to actually use which one should we use? Maybe this one. Leave room for dessert. Because the strawberries, this would even be cute maybe on a chocolate bar, and like a container of strawberries, just to make your own chocolate covered strawberries. Fun little gift idea, I would say. So let's cut this out. So really fun little makes. We have that little fortune cookie. And I'm just going to put this to the side. And our little fortune, which I'm going to kind of attach like so. But of course, before we do that, I'm going to just blend up our fortune cookie, add some color, just so it contrasts a little bit. And of course, I'm just gonna kind of like work my paper, just kind of pinch in those edges, and maybe just fold my cookie a little bit. And then I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive right on this edge. You could use liquid adhesive. I'm just gonna use my tape runner and pop it like that. And I'm going to attach it to this side this time. So I'm going to use my little punch and create our little, grab some red thread. You can use any thread, ribbon, whichever you wish. And I'm going to pop that through. Again, I'm fiddling with the ribbon. And hang this on. Tie my little bow. You could just knot it if you wish. And here we have our other little make, and this one is leave room for dessert. And again, you could even make a dimensional strawberry if you wish. So, so adorable. So I went ahead and added it onto one of my little cards from Card Crush, and it is just so cute. Again, like how adorable would this be added onto, let me pull this out. Oh, it's stuck. How adorable would this be added onto some strawberries with a chocolate bar? I mean, such a cute little gift for somebody. And again, I just think these little boxes are so cute and well worth adding to your collection. And here I just added it to another little heart flap card. Again, just another fun idea. And then of course, the Lucky in Love that we did. And this other one, do something that makes you happy, leave room for dessert. I actually added 2 fortunes to that. So I hope that these ideas have helped you see this stamp set in a different light, has definitely made you want to get stamping and building some of your own. And again, if you want to learn more about these Card Crush makes, definitely check out that classroom. I think you will love learning how to compile these little builds. And again, it's just a great way to continue to use your stash and make the most of it while creating all these cute little things. Okay, thank you so much for checking out this little inspo lesson on this stamp set, and we will see you again very soon.